Welcome back to the LCS Master Seps starter tutorial series. In this video, we will explore how to use the registration mark actions in the starter version of Master Seps. There are three sets of actions to add registration marks. First, let's look at the automatic 1-inch spacing set of actions. The first action, automatic top and bottom, will place registration marks at the top and bottom 1 inch away from the artwork. The registration marks will be added in a new layer. The next action, automatic right and left, will place registration marks at the right and left 1 inch away from the artwork. The third action, automatic all 4 corners, will add registration marks at all 4 corners 1 inch away from the artwork. The fourth action, automatic surround, will surround the artwork with registration marks 1 inch away from the artwork. Next, let's look at the manual spacing actions. They are similar to the automatic 1-inch spacing actions, but you can choose the spacing to place the registration marks away from the artwork. For demonstration, I'll run the manual all 4 corners action to add registration marks at all 4 corners. Change the units to inches if it's not. Here we can enter the canvas size we need to increase. By default, the values are 2 inches in width and 2 inches in height, so the canvas size will be increased by 1 inch on all 4 sides. For example, if we want to increase the canvas size by 2 inches on all 4 sides, we have to set the values to 4 inches. This means 2 inches at the top and 2 inches at the bottom for the height, and 2 inches at the right and 2 inches at the left for the width. Hit OK. I'll zoom out. Now the canvas size has been increased by 2 inches on all 4 sides and the registration marks are added. The next set of actions are the custom canvas size registration marks actions. We can set the canvas size and the registration marks will be added inside at the edge of the canvas. I'll run the fourth action, custom canvas size surround, for demonstration. The default values are 12.5 inches in width and 18.5 inches in height, suitable for a 13 by 19 film. The canvas size will be set to 12.5 by 18.5 and the registration marks will be added at the edge of the canvas. If your printer can print edge to edge, you can set the values to 13 by 19. Just enter your film size here and the registration marks will be added perfectly for your film size. I'll hit OK with the default values. Now if we check the image size, it is 12.5 by 18.5. The registration marks are added around the artwork at the edge of the canvas. Now let's see how to use another registration mark instead of the default registration mark using the actions. First, let's see this on Windows. Mac users can skip to the section where I demonstrate on Mac. Windows users, go to your C drive, open the LCS Actions folder, open the Master Seps starter folder, move your new registration mark file to this folder. For demonstration, I have this new registration mark which I want to use instead of the default one. Now copy the name of the default registration mark file. I'll hit Ctrl C to copy the name. Once copied, rename it to something else. I'll rename it to old registration mark. Now rename the new registration mark file to the default name. I'll paste the name which I copied. Now if we run any of the registration marks actions, the new registration marks will be added automatically instead of the default ones. Now let's see how to use new registration marks instead of the default ones on Mac. Go to your applications folder. Open the LCS Actions folder. Open the Master Seps starter folder. Move your new registration mark file to this folder. For demonstration, I have this new registration mark which I want to use instead of the default one. Now copy the name of the default registration mark file. I'll hit Command C to copy the name. Once copied, rename it to something else. I'll rename it to old registration mark. Now rename the new registration mark file to the default name. I'll hit Command V to paste the name which I copied. Now if we run any of the registration marks actions, the new registration marks will be added automatically instead of the old ones. These actions are huge time savers. You can get these actions in the Master Seps Starter and Pro versions. Check them out using the link in the description.